Hello, good day, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Luatosin, and this is So We Tosin. In case you're coming across this channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe. So, in my previous video, I uploaded how to cut this pencil dress, and in this video, we are going to be learning how to sew it from start to finish. So, firstly, we are going to be turning the pencil part of the dress. You make sure the lining is facing the right side of the fabric, and then you turn it, start from down. After sewing it down, you drag it up, and then you do the same thing to the front piece and the back piece. So this is my half cut. I've gone ahead to pad this. I added one layer of paper stay before gumming the pad to it. I didn't gum the up because this dress is going to have yoke, and I'm still going to cut out that part and replace it with the yoke. And I did the same thing to the lining. I gummed it to the back as well, just to make the fabric more stiff, like to stiffen the fabric. So this is the back for the princess that I did the same thing, but I didn't gum the lining. So the next thing now is to join your princess cut. Don't worry guys, I'm going to do a detailed video on how I joined this princess cut. So I went ahead to join it first. If you want to learn this, I'm going to make a tutorial on it. So the next thing is to fold it back. Make sure the right side is facing the right side. This is for the princess dart. Now fold the front piece, let the right side be facing the right side. Fold the lining, fold the back piece, let the right side be facing the right side. Fold the lining, make sure all the joining are facing one side, towards one side. Then the zipper allowance is going to be at the back. After then, at this point is where we'll mark out our shoulder, then the armhole, and then you shape and do whatever you want to do. So to achieve that, now we obviously know the under bust is even showing from where the cup stops is the under bust. So whatever the person's under bust is, just put it at that point. In this case, our under bust is 14. So I put 14 at that point. I measured it upward. I added 1 inch allowance to the up. Whatever is remaining, I cut it out. I don't need it. For the half cut as well, our half cut is 17. Measure it downward. I added 1 inch allowance, and then whatever is remaining, I just trim it out so that the half cut is not going to be too long. And then I reduced the zip allowance a bit. I made sure it is 1.5 inch. Then I'll go ahead to measure our back. Our back is 17. I divided it by 2. I added ½ inch allowance because this dress is going to have sleeve. If it's not going to have sleeve, there's no point adding allowance to the shoulder. The shoulder is what I call back, in case you are wondering. I also call shoulder back. After then, I marked out the armhole. Armhole is 22, but armhole is 23, but I used 8 at this point. Then I went ahead to divide our bust by 4. I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Our waistline divided by 4 as well, with 1.5 inch sewing allowance, and then I went ahead to cut it out. So for the neckline now, she wants a wide neck, so I'll be using neck width of 10 or fold of 2 now is 5. And then I'll mark it at the back as well, because if I don't do this and I remove the front, I'll not be able to know where the 5 is with the zip allowance. So I had to put a mark at that point so I can easily identify the neck width. And then for the neck depth at the back, I used 7, and it is a round neck. That is so easy. I went ahead to slant the shoulder, and that is it for the. So I want to cut the pencil sleeve now. It has 1 pencil sleeve, and this is the fabric I'll be using for the pencil sleeve. Guys, I have a detailed video on how to cut a pencil sleeve for different lengths, long, short, 3/4 in my channel. I'll put the link up in case you are wondering how I cut the pencil sleeve. So moving back to the front piece that we kept aside, I'm going to be marking, it's going to have yoke, like I said, but firstly I want to mark the neckline. I used neck width of 10 and I used neck depth of 6. I cut that out. Then for the yoke, it's going to be a very deep plunge neck. So I'll be using 12 at the middle. Then I'll be using 7 at towards the side. Towards the side as the armhole side. And then I'm going to connect my 7 to my 12, just like I'm doing. Then I'll go ahead to cut it out. This is the yoke. It's a very deep plunge neck. So this is still the fabric I'll be using to cut the yoke. I'm just going to fold it into 2, and then I'll place the yoke that I removed from the half cut on it, and then just add like ½ inch allowance to the down for joining it to the half cut. then I'll go ahead to just cut it out. That is that simple. If you watch closely, you will see that I added ½ inch allowance to the down, and that is the yoke. Now this yoke, the cleavage part, the person wants it covered, so I'm just going to cut out that part. Then I'll cut it on another black fabric just to darken the cleavage side, just to cover it so that her cleavage is not showing. So this is the piece I'll be using to cut the dark piece I'll be using to cover the cleavage. I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. So I've when I arrange, like just trying to imagine what it's going to look like now. This is what it's going to look like. So this is the yoke, the half cut, and then the little one, the little piece I'll be using to cover the cleavage. I've gone ahead to cut it. I cut two because I used one to turn the other one, and I've turned it at this point. This is what it's going to look like when I'm done sewing, and then the yoke is going to cover it. It is that simple, guys. So for this yoke, the person also wants it a little bit dark so that the whole of her skin is not just showing. So I'll be using these two green color, shade of green on the Ankara to like darken the yoke. I'm just going to like cut another one, and then I'm just going to cut the tool and place it under the net that we are using to cut the yoke. Is that simple? So for the back panel now, I'll go ahead to turn the neckline, the zip side, and then the shaping side. I'll make sure the right side of the lining is facing the right side of the fabric, and then I'll turn those parts I said. I'll turn the neckline with hemming gum. Then I'll press the shaping side and then the zip side. I'm not going to press the neckline yet so that the hemming gum doesn't come together, like so that the lining and the piece, the Ankara, doesn't come together, because I need it to like turn the shoulder for the front when I'm done. I know you guys get what I'm saying. So that is it. That is that for that. And this is the yoke. This is the way I'm going to arrange it. I'm just going to reduce the neckline of the tool I'm using to darken the net for the yoke. I'm going to reduce the neckline with like 1½ inch so that it doesn't stick out when the person is wearing it. The neckline, I'm going to recut the neckline for the tool so that it goes downward a little more. So guys, at this point, I've attached the yoke to the half cut, and then I've turned the neckline, I've turned the shaping side as well. The next thing is to attach the pencil part of this dress to the half cut. And to do that, I went ahead to notch the middle of the half cut. I notched the middle of the pencil part. I'll put the notch on the notch, making sure that the right side is facing the right side. Then I'll take that to my sewing machine and join it together. You can pin the middle together. For the back panel as well, I'll make sure that the zip side for the half cut is directly on the zip side for the pencil part. Please don't mix it up for the pencil part, and then I'll sew. So after sewing, this is what I have. This is one side of the back panel, and this is the other side of the back panel. It is that easy, guys. Please don't get confused. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fix zip at my back panel, and to do that, I'm just going to bring out my zip, and then I'll mark where I want my zip to be. Just make sure that the two joining for the half cut, they are on the same line, and the neckline is as well on the same line. If you check and they're on the same line, you're on track. Just continue. But if you see that one side is a little bit longer than the other side, this is the point where you adjust it before attaching your zip so that the two joining will be on the same side. The one will not be up and one will be down. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So I want my zip as long as possible, so I'm just going to be marking that point, and from that point down to where the slit is starting from, I'll sew a straight stitch that part very well, because that's the part that used to tear on time when you're wearing a pencil dress like this. So stitch it very well, and then after sewing, this is what I have. It's that simple. If at this point you've not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next I upload new video on this channel. So guys, this is the lapping slit I spoke about in my cutting video, like the previous video I uploaded on how I cut this piece. I spoke about lapping slits and open slits. This is the lapping slit. So guys, to fix zip, I fix zip with measurements. Don't worry, I'm going to make a comprehensive video on how to attach zip on your dress in a way that it will not bulge. So I went ahead to fix the zip, and it's now time for me to attach the drape, the little drape, to the front panel. This drape is like the easiest and the simple kind of drape anybody can think of. So just mark where you want the drape to stop. In this case, I used 14. I marked it 14, and then I pleated the drape downward. You can pleat upward, you can pleat downward, depending on the style you are working with. But in this case, it's a downward, like the pleat is facing down. So pin it down and then sew a straight stitch across that part to secure the drape down so that it doesn't scatter. Then place the right side on, place the front panel on the back panel. Make sure right side is facing right side. Join the shoulder and then just go ahead to shape. After shaping, this is what I have. The next is to trim the armhole. This is the point where I trim my armhole, and then after trimming, I just go ahead to measure. This person's armhole is 23. When I divide it by 2, it's supposed to give me 11 and a half, and this is exactly 11 and a half. So I'll trim the right and the left. And when I'm done trimming, I just attach the other hand, and this is what I have. This is my dress when I'm done. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning till the end of this video. If there's any part you don't understand that you want me to make a separate video on, please let me know in the comment section. Please don't forget to share my video amongst your soulmates as much as you can. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for the 511 subscribers. I greatly appreciate your love and effort towards the growth of my channel, and I don't take it for granted. Please don't forget to subscribe if you've not. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.